game, we're anticipating that it's just a fine, but based on today's NBA, the way that it is called, that is a suspendable offense that he committed. It's just that simple. Now, again, I wouldn't do it because I'm like, damn it, you know what? This is playoff basketball. I'm not costing somebody a playoff game or potentially a playoff series. And this is the face of the NBA. I ain't gonna lie to you. I would sit up there and take that into consideration without question. I'm not gonna apologize for it. But in the end, considering the way today's NBA game is ruled, and from the league office, it would not surprise me at all if a suspension came down. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I don't think it should shock anybody.
Perk, does it shock you?
So you sitting up here telling me that you prioritize playoff basketball and superstardom over protecting a man that was hit in the face or in the neck area with a vicious elbow? That's what you're telling me? Someone's help that could have caused serious damage to him if that was a temple shot? That's what you're telling me? Because Wemby is a star, that he shouldn't be penalized like anybody else?
No.
No, that's unacceptable.
No. I didn't say he shouldn't. I didn't say he shouldn't. I said unfortunately, Perk. Unfortunately. I didn't say he shouldn't, but I said if it were me, I wouldn't. Even though I know he should be, probably should be suspended, I wouldn't do it. Playoff basketball, okay. I'm just fessing up to you. I'm just fessing up like, damn. I'm like, all right, Nas is all right. He stayed in the game. So if I'm in the league office, I'd be like, here's playoff basketball here. I'll give him that warning. But they might not do that.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. They better do it. And if they don't, it's going to be a horrible look on Adam Silver in the NBA if they allow him to get away with this without suspending him for Game 5. He looked Nas Reed in the eye and lined him up and hit him with a vicious elbow that could have caused serious injuries to that man. And if they don't suspend him, it's going to tell a lot of fans what the NBA is about. Because it can't be about protecting players. It's going to be about money, views, and stardom. And if you do that, you're sending a horrible message. I had the producer bring up a clip. I sent him a clip this morning. Can he pop it up there? I want to show you from my playing days, since Jay brought it up earlier. I got suspended for one game for this. For that. For walking up in Tyreek Evans' face and basically a little bit of head bump. I got suspended for one game for that. For that in 2015. So you're telling me a guy that lined a guy up that could have caused serious injury to this man, you shouldn't be suspended for Game 5? No, because you're going to set a bad example for the rest of the league. I don't care about when they go about what your history looked like. No, let's live in the moment. It didn't call for that. He knew what he was doing. He looked them in the eyes. Wemby should be suspended for Game 5. No other way around it.
SA, how do you say it? Because I came on this morning saying no, but sometimes in life or where something starts at the beginning of the show as opposed to where it is at the end, it's fluid.
Yeah.
I got you. I got you, Jay. Well, it's like LaToya Luckett. We're torn in between the two. You're torn in between the two.
Yeah, but you're starting to win me over, KP, and you start reading about this, right? And obviously last night online, people started talking about Meta World Peace and the incident that happened with him and James Harden. I think that was 2012. Now, granted, Meta had a history. He was a repeat offender, right? So there was background there that kind of levered into that 7-game suspension, and it was a pretty violent elbow of that thrown at the time. Another one that you have, I think it was 2016 with Hassan Whiteside and Boban, right, where it was similar to the neck, that game, a 1-game suspension. Look, a punch is automatic 1 game. An elbow is more at the discretion of the league. I oscillate back and forth because I'm like, hey, if that were Kobe that did that, would the league have the guts to suspend him, considering how much of a draw he was to the game? But KB, to your point, the look over the shoulder right before it happens is a thing that could make it suspendable, right? Like if it were, hey, I'm going and I just go like this and I don't see it, okay, probably don't give him. But this, the look over to the side and then the crank, I might I might be leaning towards how you feel about it, KP. I might be leaning towards how you feel about it.
And the facial expression.
Like I said.
And the facial expression of Dylan Harper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I said, it's a suspendable violation.
you're right.
You saw what he did. You know what I'm saying? And not just ejecting. That's why I brought up the fact that he could end up being suspended for Game 5. What I'm also saying, however, it would be difficult for me to do come playoff time for a superstar player that's arguably the face of the league in so many people's eyes in this moment. But there is no question that it is a suspendable offense. He's guilty of that. It's clear as day. He deserved to be ejected. And if he gets suspended, there's nobody that's going to be able to argue on his behalf, no matter how hard Coach Mitch Johnson tried. And to me, what made it even more incriminating, Mitch Johnson, that is not the time to bring up what he's going through as a player when something that flagrant happened. He should have waited a day or two to do that. He should have waited till the decision came down from the league office. One could easily make the argument that because of the coach's disposition in the immediate aftermath of the loss and the ejection, that should incriminate him even more. And now you have to suspend him if you're the league, because you can't have a coach, even though he made it a point to say he wasn't talking about the play, he was talking about Wemby overall. The timing of those comments definitely doesn't bode well for the San Antonio Spurs if you wanted to ensure that Wemby was playing for Game 5.
Look, I know Perk doesn't want to live in the now and not bring up the past, but this is the first time he's ever been ejected. He's a young player. Yes, he is. And the fact that Naz Reid wasn't hurt, I do think maybe would factor into this. I don't know. I expect we'll have a decision. I don't know. But Perk, you even said yourself, though, you had 100 texts in your career. You had a different kind of kind of history.
Yeah, but Shay, let me tell you, that type of incident, again, like I said, looking him in the eyes and throwing a malicious, vicious blow like that, like, do you realize if that was a little higher in his temple, we don't know what could have happened. Some people was texting me that, hey, man, if that was a little higher, he could have possibly killed the man with that type of elbow. That's all it takes. So, again, I want Wemby on the floor. We want to see our superstars on the floor. We want to see them on the stage dancing. But we got to call it like it is. A spade is a spade and a heart is a heart. And the reality of it is no place in the game for that. You cannot do that. And all eyes are watching, because if the NBA decides not to suspend him, then they're sending a message that they prioritize views, stardom, and money over a person's well-being.
Okay. I hear you. We will see what happens. Right now, the series is even at 2 games apiece. We'll see what happens with Game 5 and Victor Wembanyama. Still to come here on First Take. If tonight is LeBron's final game in a Lakers uniform, what is next for the King? We'll debate that just ahead. More